Day 5 of the Formula Kite World Championships in here in the south of France. The sun is shining, the wind is blowing, and we are about to bring you some amazing action from out there on the water. We've got 4 Gold Fleet races to decide who's going to go through to the medal series tomorrow for the final showdown. This is the last major event before the Olympic Games, so there's a lot riding on this. Hi, my name's Andy Rice from the UK, and I'm delighted to have Sofia Tomasoni from Italy, one of Italy's best kiteboarders. Sofia, it's going to be a great day, isn't it?
It is. It's looking like it's going to be an amazing day. And thank you so much for having me. It's going to be so much fun.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us, Sofia. Meanwhile, we've had 4 days of hot competition. Here's what's happened so far. The first 4 days of the World Championship have seen all kinds of riders, male and female, doing well at certain points in the competition, but no one has been able to match the consistency of the reigning world champions. In the women, that's France's Lauriane Nalot, and in the men, it's Singapore's Max Mader. So in the first 3 days of the competition, it was the qualifying, the men divided into 3 groups, the women divided into 2, and Mader was winning his groups. Valentin Bontas pushing him at times. Axel Mazzella winning a lot of his races on his side of the group, and others doing very well like Riccardo Pianozzi and Bruno Lobo, the Italian and the Brazilian riders. And meanwhile in the women, while Lauriane Nalot was almost unstoppable, some of the other French riders like Jessie Campman and Poema Newland were taking races off her. And then Marina, just make sure that we're not hearing your instructions to the camera people. The first 4 days of the World Championship have seen all kinds of riders, male and female, doing well at certain points in the competition, but no one has been able to match the consistency of the reigning world champions. In the women, that's France's Lauriane Nalot, and in the men, it's Singapore's Max Mader. So in the first 3 days of the competition, it was the qualifying, the men divided into 3 groups, the women divided into 2, and Mader was winning his groups. Valentin Bontas pushing him at times. Axel Mazzella winning a lot of his races on his side of the group, and others doing very well like Riccardo Pianozzi and Bruno Lobo, the Italian and the Brazilian riders. And meanwhile in the women, while Lauriane Nalot was almost unstoppable, some of the other French riders like Jessie Campman and Poema Newland were taking races off her. And then Ellie Aldridge from Great Britain, very, very strong. And Elena Langweiler, not so fast at the beginning of the week, but gradually the Swiss rider winding up to speed. And when we got into the Gold Fleet racing on day 4, that's when we really saw Elena Langweiler step up. Not starting so well in the first race, but getting up to winning the last 2 races of the first day. And she goes up to 5th overall, but Lauriane Nalot still leading ahead of some of those other French riders and Ellie Aldridge. And Max Mader still at the top of the standings, being chased by Riccardo Pianozzi in 2nd place, and Valentin Bontas and Bruno Lobo also very much in the mix. So we are just a few minutes away from the first start. We're going to see the women's Gold Fleet starting first. There is our race officer, Mirko Babini from Italy. Great windsurfer back in the day and absolute pioneer of the Formula kiteboarding, one of those that brought it into the Olympics. And Mirko just checking the time. You can see there's quite a swell out there. Sofia, you went for a little kiteboard yesterday afternoon. What are the conditions like out there?
Yes, I did. I really, really enjoyed it as well. I hadn't been out in a few months actually, which hadn't happened for so long, and wow, wasn't it amazing? I just went out kiting here and it was perfect condition for 15, flat water, amazing, like constant, and clean wind. I had such a good time. And today it looks like it's going to be a solid day for the Gold Fleet racing.
What kind of kite size have they chosen? Just tell us about the different kite sizes available. Which one do you think most have gone with today?
So they, with the men's fleet, they sometimes go with bigger kites, so they could have gone for the 23, but I think a lot of people are on 15s today. And yeah, it looks like the breeze is building up slowly. So yeah, I think it's going to be a day for 15, maybe 23s if it drops a little bit, or yeah, we'll see, I guess.
We have got 23 riders in the women and 25 in the men. That's because the women's fleet overall was smaller, so it was a 50-50 split with 23 into the gold and 23 in the silver fleet, who will race this afternoon. We are on this live stream only focusing on the top 23 women in the gold, and currently we've got the reigning world champion Lauriane Nolot from France, who is leading. She's going to be wearing the yellow bib out there. And then Ellie Aldridge from Great Britain, she's going to be representing her country at the Olympics in a few weeks' time. She's going to be in the blue bib today. And then two French riders who just missed out on selection in third and fourth, Jessie Campman and Poema Newland, both capable of winning races. But Sophia, we've got some interesting names just below that. Daniela Moroz, six-time world champion, but struggling to maintain that world-beating form that she had up until, say, the end of 2022. But Elena Langwiller, in this flat water, the Swiss rider is looking unstoppable in terms of straight line speed. Really, really fast, isn't she?
Yeah, she's extremely fast. And I mean, all the top riders are fast, aren't they? But of course, in certain conditions, speed is more important than tactics or anything else. And therefore, I mean, if you're fast, you're able to get away with a lot of things. But Elena has improved so fast, and we've seen her getting better and better. And I mean, it's good to see a few, I would say, new names like on the top. And it's just a very interesting battle. But they're all so good, and Daniela has won so much. But I mean, all the girls have improved a lot, and so it's nice to see different names at the top, I guess.
One of the other columns we saw there was what foil choice the women are using. Levitas or Chubanga are the two most popular, but actually Chubanga by far the most popular at the moment. What was your foil selection, and what are the differences between them?
So I personally chose the Chubanga when I was racing because it's a bit more stable and maybe, yeah, it's a less risky foil to be racing with. But yeah, obviously, I mean, Lauriane's going terribly well with the Levitas and a few other of the top riders. But I think the majority of the people have gone for the Chubanga, haven't they? So I guess that's maybe the safest foil to be racing with, which doesn't mean it's not like obviously performing well. It's still very, very fast foil.
Well, Daniela Moroz, she, of her 6 world titles, she started off on Mike Slab foils, which aren't used so much these days, but then she switched to Levitas, and her 2 most recent world titles came on the Levitas. But I'm really surprised to see that Moroz has made a late switch to Chubanga. She's only been doing that this year, and she finally feels like riding on the Chubanga feels more like home. And so that's been an interesting late switch for her. But for Valentin Bontas in the men, when the Austrian rider switched from Levitas to Chubanga last year, just before the World Championship, it transformed his performance instantly. And he says that was the key difference that enabled him to finish 4th at the World Championship, which was way higher than what he'd managed to do before then.
Yeah, the thing is, with a fast and stable foil, you can really truly push. You can trust the foil, and you can just like go for it and focus on your body position and kind of everything else, you know. So I guess if it gives you a like certain amount of confidence, then you can just push and focus on on your body position and just going fast. I think maybe that's why it helped some people reach really good results, because it allows you to push really hard and kind of like yeah, you just trust the foil. So it's a really good feeling. I mean, I love the Chubanga, so.
Well, we'll come back to that discussion because things move on in the Formula Kite world, and they will be for LA 2028 for the next cycle. But we are just over 1 minute away from the start of what we expect will be 4 Gold Fleet races today. We start with the women, and immediately that this race is over, we'll be into start sequence for the men, and we're going to be tripping through these 8 races today, hopefully pretty quickly, looking at just what amazing conditions we have here in the south of France today. 55 seconds to go, and as you can see, most of the kites on the right hand side, most will be going for the starboard tack, but we always like to look out for those have a go heroes on port tack, seeing if they can weave their way through the start. Very hazardous with the potential of tangles and crashes, but there will probably be 1 or 2 thinking about the port tack start. 25 seconds to go, and they will be doing the slow march towards the line. There you see it.
Yeah, it looks like most of them, if not all of them, are on 15s.
And it looks like maybe everybody is going for the starboard end start as well.
Yeah.
So 5 seconds to go. They're going to swing those kites down into the power zone very soon. And they're off. And now the kites sweep down to the water. They get the kites fully into the power zone. And we will find out in a moment if that was a clean start or if anyone was over early. So at the moment, one of the riders charging off really fast out of the pin end of the line. I think that is that's Maddie Anderson on the far left, and on the far right, up by the committee boat, is Gisela Pulido, the Spanish rider.
And few people tacking out early. Giles Zuckerman and Katie Dapson decided to keep themselves to the right side of the course. So
And it is a clear start. So yeah, no one was over. And so yeah, the question is the ones that have jibed out early, Katie Dabbs, the last few boards tacking. There's a couple that are really carrying on quite a long way. The USA going fast out to the left. And you can see the represented as the red board on the left-hand side, Daniela Moroz just tacking, and Gal Zuckerman on the far side, tacking onto the starboard ley line. And Elena Lengwiller, who's been so fast, the Swiss rider winning the final of yesterday's, last 2 of yesterday's 4 races. Lengwiller also looking fast next to Daniela Moroz. So that they're the 2 of the 3 riders that we see in the middle of our picture at the moment.
Yeah, Gal's looking really good coming from the right side, and yeah, we'll see if she manages to cross the girls in front. But
right, so maybe tacking out early on the right-hand side, maybe that was the way to go. Looking very good for Zuckerman from Israel. If she's on the ley line, if she's judged that ley line correctly, then Zuckerman could be looking really good here.
yeah, Elena is coming with a lot of speed as well. It's going to be really interesting, and I think it's going to be quite tight when it comes to the tack.
It looks like it's going to be a pretty even course based on what we've seen, doesn't it, Sophia? It looks like as long as you got clear air out to the left or the right and went fast, you have a chance of getting round. Now the first few are coming round, and it looks like, is it Lengwiller in the lead?
Gal is in the lead by the looks of it.
Right, excellent. So Gal Zuckerman from Israel, very good first leg for her. One of the early tackers out to the right-hand side, followed by Elena Lengwiller, and then Daniela Moroz, Ellie Aldridge, Gisela Pulido, Annalise Lammerts, Lily Young from Great Britain, and Zoe Boutang also having a good race, the young French rider. So that's your top 10, which means it begs the question, where are some of the French we would expect to see up there? What's happened to the likes of Lauriane Nolot, Jessie Campman, and Poema Newland? We can't see them in the top 10 right now.
Yeah, I'm wondering the same. I think they are such strong riders with such good speed, so I'm sure they're going to catch up on the second lap somehow.
Well, it's very strange. We've had a clear start. That we've got two good ways of getting up the race course. So how did at least not one of those French, bearing in mind those three French I've just mentioned, are holding three of the top four places in the overall standings coming into today. Very surprising to see France not doing better in this race right now, but it looks like a very even battle down towards the bottom of the course between Zuckerman, Lengvila, Aldridge and Moroz. Moroz still very much in the hunt at the front of this battle for the bottom of the race course. And I see that Jessie Campman's tracker is at the bottom of the screen just then. I don't know if she had a problem and wasn't able to start the race.
I wonder if the tracker maybe.
There's it. Oh, that will be the yellow bib of Max Mader about to start in the men. So we're coming down to the bottom of the race course.
Looks like Ellie Aldridge took the lead.
Good sailing by the British rider as she comes round the bottom of the racetrack. She expects to finish on the podium in World Championships. Oh, but I wonder if this is part of our story down here. What's happening with these kites flailing around near the water? There's a lot of kites in trouble down there.
Oh yeah, that looks like a big tangle. At least 4 riders. France, Poland.
Oh yeah, so you're right. So maybe one of the French that we've been talking about is having a problem, a tangle at the bottom of the racecourse. Where that happened, I don't know. I don't know if it was pre-start. Meanwhile, Aldridge leading the charge out to the left-hand side of the racecourse. Everyone is following Aldridge out to the left. We haven't seen anyone tacking yet.
Daniela Mora's had a really good mark rounding at the bottom mark, so I wonder if she gained a bit. Although Ellie Aldridge looks really solid and keeping the lead for the moment.
So Aldridge followed by Moroz, then Zuckerman, Lengvila, Lily Young. What do you see there on the tracker? You see some names we were hoping to see. What do you think?
Yeah, I see Poema going to the right side, and yeah, it looks like Lorian could have maybe been one of those kites, because it looks like her tracker stopped. I wonder if she got in the tangle.
So problems for Nolo and problems for Poema Newland, who's in the race, but currently not in the top 10. So a lot of catching up to do. Good battle here between Ellie Aldridge on the right of screen and Daniela Moroz just to windward, and it's a simultaneous tack between the British and the USA riders out here on the left-hand side of the racecourse. And there the tracker suggests that Jessie Campman is in trouble. Maddie Anderson, who also was these stages of the race, maybe she's ended up in the water as well.
And the Polish kite we saw was Julia Damasiewicz. I got stuck in the tangle. Daniela Moritz with a lot of speed right now.
Moroz will be pleased to see that she is on pace with Ellie Aldridge, because Moroz has had a bit of a struggle with speed earlier on in the season as she's made the switch foil to the other. We spoke just before the race about Levitar.
Yeah, Daniela going really fast in the down and getting her lead. I guess it's just a matter of not making any mistakes now.
Which is always easier said than done, of course, on a kiteboard. But it's flat water, and we're not hearing too many complaints about debris in the water. It's been fairly clean water. So the riders coming down towards the bottom of the race course for the last time round. They're not far away from the finish. And here comes the chasing pack towards the bottom of the racecourse. Moroz charging downwind at speeds close to 32 knots. So huge speeds coming down towards the bottom of the racetrack.
And Leonie Meyer doing really well as well. She's currently 4th. And
good gains for her. Good gains for the German. But the battle for the front continues between 3 riders, Daniela Moroz, Gal Zuckerman and Ellie Aldridge. And there are some of the kites waiting with their... Oh, just behind that, That's Daniela Moroz just coming round the leeward gate, and now it's the fast reach across to the finish. And Moroz has stretched on the rest of the fleet. She's now got clear water between her and the chasing rest of the pack, who I think it's Gal Zuckerman now up into second ahead of Ellie Aldridge. So Daniela Moroz cruising across the line, not even pushing. And here come many of the others crossing the finish line. So